Hello and welcome to the Week 7 edition of the Monster Pod. Matt Brown, Steven Anders, alongside Ryan Noonan of 4for4.com. It was a good lead in, so I skipped the London game. We don't want to talk about the Dolphins, but we'll circle back around to the New England Patriots with the Jacksonville Jaguars over there in London. 6 points in favor of the Jags. It is 42. Oh, look at this. People are betting the over 42.5 now. My screen just flashed. So you got like a couple different books go to 42.5 now. So people coming in thinking there might be some points here in this one. Steven, I mean, at the end of the day, for the Patriots, at least Drake May brings a little bit of variance, right? Like we know what Jacoby Brissett is. It's like a mid-range floor. There's absolutely no ceiling, and it just kind of is what it is. And then Drake May steps in last week, throws this 40-yard touchdown pass to Kayshon Boutte, and like all this, like, you start to see that at least this offense with Drake May has something that possibly one day could manifest into something that maybe we would think is an actual NFL offense with all of that. And of course, we know the situation with the Jags that they lose this game. I mean, it's over. I mean, they are going to fire everyone, and everyone is going to be like having to buy their own plane ticket home. What do we think here about this early kickoff?
Really convoluted game right here. I mean, reasons to hate both sides. Honestly, you have the travel advantage of all travel advantages on an NFL schedule with the Jags staying in London and the Patriots coming over. I mean, we don't have a sample of what that actually means, but it can't be good, right? It's not a really good spot for the Patriots on that alone. So that to me has got to be worth more than a normal home field advantage on any given week in the NFL. But the Jaguars are a dumpster fire, right? Like the players know that if they lose this game, Doug Peterson's probably getting fired. So are they really coming out and playing hard for Doug? I don't know. A player on the defense used the quit word last week. So we have a defensive coordinator that makes no adjustments. I'll tell you what I bet. When this opened, there was a rogue 3.5 on the Jaguars when I thought it was ridiculous to downgrade them with the spot against one of the worst two teams in the NFL. So I have Jags minus 3.5 in the account. I feel terrible about it, even though I'm sitting on 2 points of CLV at the moment, because I think anything is in play here. I really do. Wouldn't shock me in the least if the Patriots, I heard, our friends at Gridiron Gamble made a good point here. I think if the Jags come out sleepy in this game, in this spot with a travel edge, that's live bet Patriots right there. Because like if they're going to come out sleepy with this kind of travel edge, and I just don't know how they're going to get back to better the rest of the game. So that's where I'm at. But I wouldn't blame anybody for just skipping this game altogether.
Ryan, I have been saying this all week on the various programming that I do, and I'm not downgrading this at all. But like Boston to London is like a 6.5 hour flight, and then like Boston to LA is like a 6 hour and 10-minute flight or whatever. So I mean, it's like we keep talking about the travel. You want to say like the food or something, or if you want to say like whatever, but I mean, it's the same going. It's just an East Coast, West Coast trip is all it is. It's not like anything different. It's the same travel time. They're flying on a friggin' chartered plane and whatever. And also, so I know everyone keeps bringing this up, but like, it's not like it's a Vegas team or a West Coast team going to London. It's a team where it's the exact same travel time as it is just going East Coast to West Coast in all this. So again, not saying that it's irrelevant. I'm just saying, like, I think we do need to focus on the fact that this isn't some crazy flight. It's a 6.5 hour flight. It's the same shit if you're going from Boston to LA. Like, so again, just want to throw that out there to everyone, because I've heard this time and time again this week. And I'm going, guys, it's a 20-minute difference than if you're just doing a coast to coast flight. I mean, this is not like the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah, we would probably reference it if we had like the Dolphins played in Seattle a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And it was like worth mentioning that's a pretty long flight.
But we wouldn't be fixated on it.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
No, it's a great point. To Steven's point too, like we have one sample of this. And again, like not anything you should ever draw a conclusion on, where last year was the first time that the Jags did this, where they stayed back-to-back for their London games. And in game 2, they absolutely boat raced the Bills. Now, Did that have anything to do with travel? It's really hard for us to say that had anything to do with it. It's, again, one sample. We will never have a sample big enough to show that there was any statistical relevance to that travel situation, but it happened. Matt Milano got injured in like the first series of that game. I think that was probably both an on and off the field kind of like, let down for the Bills, and things were never really the same for them defensively down the stretch. So, you made a good point, Matt. I think the variance that comes with the change of quarterback with Jacoby Brissett, who, does his best to not take sacks, hard to do in front of this offensive line, but likes to protect the football. And we saw a little bit more, DGAF from Drake May, wanting to challenge the ball down the field a little bit more, get vertical, hard to do with the weapons that they have, but at least a little bit more playmaking, the ability to scramble, I guess kind of the fear, even scrambling too. And again, hanging 21 points at home against a really good Texans pass rush was interesting to me, at least taking some shots down the field and doing so where there really wasn't a pulse for this in the Jacoby Brissett-led offense. So, the total, as you said, is flashing. I still see a rogue 41.5, and that's of interest to me. That would be the bet for me out there. It looks like FanDuel has a 41.5 at -110 on the over as we record now. So, on the wrong side of 42, a little less interest to me. Don't have a great feel for the side. I just want to see Drake May continue to get some reps, learn, get out here, take his thumpings a little bit. But I think this is kind of one of the last spots on the schedule that the Pats probably have a chance to get a win and, get a team that's kind of on the downswing here too. Again, I think the Patriots have, even the last couple of years defensively, have outperformed the talent that they have. I think they could probably do that again here if they can kind of minimize the explosives from the Jags passing offense. Probably Pats at 5.5, but more so 41.5 on the over for me.
I'm glad you brought up the total because that's the play that's in my account. It was the over on the 41.5 because of the variance that Drake May brings. Works for us, I think, in both ways, right? It's the, okay, throw it down the field, and if you get behind the defense, 40-yard touchdown pass, cool, awesome, that works great. Or you're a rookie quarterback making his second start, and you hold on the ball a little bit too long. Maybe you get strip sacked. Maybe you throw a bad pick. Maybe there's all kinds of things. And then short field position works for us as well on the Jacksonville side. So I'm with you on the total. I actually think this thing could actually end up going over, I think, by a significant margin. Like I think that there's enough variance here that this is something I feel really, really good about. So glad that you brought that up. Yeah.
Were you worried about the weather at all? That was the only reason I haven't bet it yet. I agree. It's a slam dunk over for me. The weather is what scared me a little bit. It might wind up being a live over bet for me after I actually see what it's looking like out there at Wembley. I will say that the 90% rain is much less now, but it's London, so who knows? And it's gone from 90% to 40%. But the wind is still potentially a factor here, around 18 miles per hour, gusts much higher than that. That's the only thing that stopped me. The other thing, too, is the field. Everybody complained about the field at Wembley, so they brought in a brand new field that's only being used for this game. So I don't know what that's going to be like, if it's going to be better or worse or the same. So I agree with you on paper. This is a slam dunk over. These defenses are horrendous. That's the only thing that stopped me so far. It might wind up being a live over for me.
How many kilometers per hour is that wind supposed to be? Because they don't do miles per hour over there, Steven.
This is America, Matt.
Yeah,
I don't care.
This America, Jack. Guys, if you haven't done so already, upper right hand corner of Lions.com is a free Discord. Go in, chat the games with everybody over there. And if you haven't visited 4for4 yet, you need to go ahead, sign up. It's worth the money. Everything that you are getting is going to make you better. And that's all we're trying to do here is make you better, whether it be at fantasy, whether it be at betting, whether it be just at life in general. Live life like Steven. That's all. Just live life like Steven, and you are going to be a jolly, happy person out there for sure. For Ryan, for Steven, I'm Matt. Good luck on all your week 7 bets.